Alright, Dina guys, it's me, Sergeant Major Mario. What's up? Welcome back to East 8, Lacrimosa Dana, adult only. Last time we were here, we explored the ruins of Eternia, and Dana learned through Eternia herself while she came to the present. This time, we are going to make our way to the Leaning Tower of Baja and see what secrets it has waiting for us. And see if it will contain the knowledge to defeat the Oceanus. Should be exciting to go around, I say. But before we do that, we got a lot of side quests to do. A lot of side quests. Well, that's good timing, Sam. I just started. Sam, if you are talking, I cannot hear you.
Hello?
Hello, there you go.
Hi! I was laughing because you were like, hi! I just started. I was like, oh, you're starting late. And then you were like, I can't hear you. So yeah, here I am.
Alright, we got a lot of side quests to do today. So how's your day been?
I just got off the phone with my aunt who was telling me like, oh, we're trying to rehouse a cat. This is the same aunt that helped me get my current cat, TJ, of course. So when she says, oh, I'm trying to rehouse a cat, my first thought is like, what kind of cat is it?
Give me the details.
Cause, yeah, cause I stumbled upon this YouTube video recently where it's this guy, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's like a cat expert. So the video of his that I stumbled upon was like, you should get another cat. And it just goes into, like, you know, how cats are better off in pairs. So that guy recommended to me fairly recently, and I'm like, I thought about it, and it was like, I don't know if DJ would get along with another cat. But now my aunt calls all of a sudden, it's like, we're trying to rehouse a cat! So I wonder if that's the universe trying to tell me something. But yeah, I was talking to my aunt about, like, the logistics of it, where it's like, okay, well, mom would love a cat, but can't afford a cat, or just can't have a cat in her current place. Our other aunt already has 2 cats now. She got a second cat out of nowhere all of a sudden. After saying, I'm just gonna have a cat and a dog, and that's it, she got a second cat. And yeah, so it's like, I have TJ, and I adopted her out with her previous owner, thinking like she's just a one cat household kind of cat, where she'd be better off alone without another cat in the picture. But it's very tempting. It's like the universe might be giving me a cat, and like I don't want them to suffer in their current living situation. So it's like, it's complicated because on the one hand, I don't want that animal to suffer in their current living situation, but I also don't want my current cat to suffer with another cat that she might not get along with, so it's very conflicting. Yeah.
Oh, life's like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the cat delivery system. Or, no, it's called the cat distribution system. Have you ever heard of the cat distribution system?
No.
Okay, so the cat distribution system is basically, it's like the concept of karma, but it's just specific to cats. Where if you are a nice enough person, and you are nice to animals, and specifically nice to cats, the universe will just keep trying to give you cats. Yeah, so that's the cat distribution system. So I'm wondering if the cat distribution system is trying to give me another cat.
It's entirely possible.
And, like, part of me has wondered recently, like, would TJ get along with another cat? Because, like, TJ is a little bit of a ball of anxiety. She's kind of chaotic. She was a good mom to her kittens when they were younger, but it's not like we can just bring our cats to therapy and they can just tell us their trauma, so it's like, I can't ask her directly like, hey, what kind of cats would you get along with if we were to get another cat? Because if I could, that'd be super simple, and maybe I would have the cat that needs to be rehoused right now. So, yeah, like, I'm not sure what's going on in the cat's head, because she doesn't speak English, and I'm not a mind reader. But yeah, it's like, oh, there's a cat that needs a home. God damn it, why don't I have a bigger house?
Yeah, house size is also, you know, the big thing to worry about as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So it's like, is my cat going to get along with a new cat that enters the household, or like, you know, am I going to have enough space? Because like, you could get cats used to each other by using the 3-3-3 method, which is 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, to determine like how much you get along with your cat and how much you get like your cats get along with other cats in the household. And it's basically like, okay, say you adopt a cat, not having cats before. So there's your first cat. You try to see how you get along with them within the first 3 days. Within the first 3 days, they should be using their litter box. They should have a comfortable place to sleep. That kind of thing. Or like they should at least start getting used to your presence. In 3 weeks, they should be a lot more used to your presence. They should kind of have established a routine for themselves in your household. And they're gonna be getting introduced to the other people in your household. By 3 months, your cat should hopefully be fully settled in your house. So the same 3-3-3 rule applies to cats meeting other cats. But what you're also supposed to do, especially if you have a big enough house, is that you're supposed to give the new cat a room to themselves. Just to have them acclimate to their new living situation. Especially if that place has a lot of your scent or the scent of other cats that they're going to meet in the household eventually. But then, gradually, you're supposed to let them explore other rooms of the house, and just have them get used to the rest of the dwelling where you're currently at, including meeting the other cats. But part of that gradual meeting of the other cats is that you're supposed to have them, like, interact very slowly, like having the existing cats, like, see the new cat through, like, a glass door, or, like, opening the door just a crack to have the existing cats in the house see the new cat, and that sort of thing. And I was asking my aunt about litter boxes, like, theoretically, could the cats share a litter box, or should they be separate and then maybe share later on? Or should they just always be separate? So she got back to me on that. But yeah, so it's like, like, theoretically, like, even if I were to just house the cat that needs to be rehoused temporarily and just find him, like, another living situation on like Pet Finder, or like ask around the friend group. It's like, hey, does anybody want a cat? Yeah, it's like I just love animals. If I had the money and the space, I would be the kind of person that has a zoo or a cat cafe or like some kind of animal sanctuary. But yeah, I don't have that epic amount of money or space, and I can't manipulate space time to give myself more space to house a bunch of animals. So it is very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but gotta make do with what you have, I suppose.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like, I gotta think very carefully about the cat distribution system. Because again, it's like, I don't want an animal to suffer out there, but I don't want my current animal to suffer. But like, either way, like, by adopting an animal, you're still saving their lives. You're saving them from a life in a kill shelter that might kill them if they're not adopted fast enough. You're saving them from a life living in a shelter where they're never gonna get adopted, but they live at the shelter full time. You're gonna save them from living in the street, which is like the biggest one, where they could get hurt, they could get killed, they could like just become feral and not adoptable whatsoever. Yeah. So it's like, either way, like, as long as the cat has a home, it's better than the cat having no home at all. But yeah, it's like, gosh darn it. I love animals. I just... Yeah, I'm kind of a sap, really. But yeah, I just wanted to poke my head in the Discord originally because you and Z were on a call, and I wanted to say hi, and then you were like, you were alone, and you were like, I am just starting, and I'm like, oh, I guess here I am.
Well, I always do forget to link the stream in the group chat, so sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I mean, this is mainly going to be a side quest heavy stream, so.
Did you share the strum on the sky that is blue?
I keep forgetting to do that. I genuinely keep forgetting to do that. I'll do that right now.
Whoa!
Does Blue Sky have hashtags?
Yeah, it has hashtags now.
Yes, ADOL, shut up. How exciting! Fuck you! I'm doing my best! Oh, actually, I should probably put on the screen share so you can be a bit, like, up to date and you can, hear the game.
Oh.
And, I keep forgetting to... So, I screen share a lot with Jack whenever he and I are in calls and stuff. And because, like, his Wi-Fi is like, really bad, I have to keep lowering the frame rate to, like, 15 frames per second. So, of course, and of course, Discord remembers the previous settings that you have saved. So, it's like, no one else is going to be able to see this at a fast frame rate. It's like, great. What are your thoughts on, like, side quests in RPGs?
I think they're fine, generally. I prefer ones that add more context to the story and just add more, like, beefy content in general.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't played, like, a actual factual RPG in a very long time.
What was the last one you played?
I used to play a lot of my aunt got back to me about the cat that needed a new home. His name was Simba, and his owner already found him a new home. So one part of me is like, God damn it, and the other part of me is like, well, at least he found a good home. Yeah. So that was quick. Cat distribution system was not patient with me on that one. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the cat distribution system will come my way again soon. Who knows?
Yeah, there's always next time.
Yeah, but like again, it's like I can't bring TJ to a therapist and like have her explain her trauma to me. So it's like I have a theory that maybe she just doesn't get along with adult cats, but maybe like say if I were like fostering kittens that were just very small and young and like devoted and low energy, maybe she would like them. But then the problem is like, what if she were to get attached, and then I'd have to keep the kittens. And that kind of thing. Because as long as you're like fostering cats, like the agency that's like helping you foster them is gonna pay for all their like medical expenses and all that. All you have to do is provide food and shelter, and all that. So it's like fostering cats be pretty easy, but to become a cat foster parent is also kind of hell, to be honest. It's like adopting an actual human, where you have to go through a lot of checks and balances. But yeah, and every now and again I see a stray cat in my area, and it's like, you know, if I were crazy enough, I wouldn't take it home to try to, like, treat it and find it home and make it all nice and shiny and adoptable. But it's just a matter of, like, those cats are kind of not feral, but you just can't contact them very easily. And, like, there are none within my immediate vicinity that I could try to socialize very easily, so... yeah! Well, yeah. Also, like, the cat my aunt was talking about was it was a little orange tabby cat. So it was a Garf cat, and his name was Simba, which is hilarious because there's this news podcast that I've been listening to since I was a young'un, and the female host on that show has an orange tabby cat named Simba. So it's like, huh? I guess it's just a very common name for orange tabby cats.
Or just very easy default one to go for.
Yeah, especially if it's a boy and like they happen to be like orange or blonde or whatever.
Right, show me.
Like, yeah, that's just a very cute thought. It's like, oh, there's another Simba.
Well. Here.
So technically, in that area I was in, there is a side quest there that I probably could have done at the same time, but I was more focused on just getting the 60% completion map because I wanted another fucking inventory slot.
Oh.
So, those who probably just saw me just constantly looking at the map, I wanted to get 60% because I knew I was going to get another adventure slot. Now I can have 4 things!
Nice.
Huzzah! You can tell where my priorities were at that moment.
Oh, chilly.
Bit nippy.
Yeah, it's really fucking windy today, and it's just really cold as a result because of the freaking wind chill. And all that, so that's fun.
Yeah, the cold's been on and off that around here.
Yeah, it's mostly been rainy. It's been rainy as all hell. But today it's not rainy, it's just windy. It's windy out there. And then, like, cold weather just makes me so tired. It's like, I just want to take a nap all the time.
That's a big-ass egg.
That is a big egg.
It's a dinosaur egg.
What if they hatch it and raise it, and then they could use it for meat to make dino nuggies?
I mean, that would be plausible, but Hummel literally explains that he wants to keep doing it, but there is an actual baby inside, so he wants to live his life as a transporter and transport it back to its mother.
Huh. Then you could just raise it! Raise it among humans! It'd be adorable!
He actually say that he literally explained that, you know, it will die if it's raised there because, you know, there's no proper care for it.
I would love to raise a dragon. Like, having a dragon as a pet would be awesome. But specifically, I want Mikhail. I want Mikhail from Dragon Guard 3. Because Mikhail is adorable. Mikhail is baby. Yeah. Then you can put a saddle on his back and fly him through the sky.
Sorry, just spawned back here. Suddenly, BAM! Keenan jump scare.
Yeah.
Just right behind you. I know your secret, ADOL.
I mean, hey, like, as someone who's raised small children before, there's nothing scarier than, like, a small child just popping in out of the nowhere because they need something from you.
Yeah.
Especially when, like, you're not prepared for it. It's like, in my case, like, I've been cooking. I've been alone. I've been coming out of the bathroom. I've been getting ready to go out. I have been, like, literally out the door. Like, 2 seconds out the door, and then suddenly small child. And, like, they could be silent, they could be crying out of the nowhere, they could be screaming because they don't want you to go anywhere, and it's like, god damn it, child. You're gonna give me a heart attack.
Oh, speaking of children, there was a girl that got nicked today.
What the hell? Like, just kidnapped out of nowhere? What the fuck?
No, nicked, arrested.
Oh.
I was waiting for the bus, and I saw there was a police van, you know, just outside at the bus station. I didn't think much of it, but then I saw 2 police officers just basically dragging the girl. She looks about, what, 13, 14? And she was, like, kicking and screaming, and they just, like, put her in the van.
What the fuck?
Apparently, and I say apparently because this was, because I asked around, and the only person who was able to give me an answer was someone who follows the ACAB rule and, you know, believes that men are pigs. But she says it with an alleged tone that the girl assaulted a shopkeeper and stole some things from the shop, and you know, so violence. And you know, she doesn't like the fact that two police men came in to apprehend the girl when it should have been women, or like they should have called for women. I'm just there saying, like, well, you know, think about the circumstances. The police are short-staffed. In this situation, they probably couldn't have waited for a woman to come in and handle it. And you know, in a certain context, the girl could have started being violent, which they had to act accordingly and just lock her up before any more harm could have been done.
And then, like, I can understand, like, maybe defaulting to the girl interacting with police, like, at the station, because that's sometimes a thing that's sometimes a courtesy they will offer you. It's like, oh, you're a woman or you're a young lady. Would you like to speak to a lady officer? Because, you know, sometimes you have certain lady problems that men in general aren't equipped to deal with mentally or emotionally. And yeah, sometimes having the physical presence of men would just be very awkward in that situation. But yeah, I don't know, like, you explained to me, like, that British children just need to be like Dennis the Menace up until a certain age where suddenly they have all common sense in their brain and they stop acting like Dennis the Menace, so I don't know. I only know about American kids and American kid problems.
Yeah, you know, the whole explanation was explained through the officers where they had a report of assaults, and you know they did have to act accordingly. Like, even then, even if they did call for the girl's parents, like the moment she started throwing hands, that's like, okay, yeah, we can't exactly let this violence continue, so we have to act accordingly here.
Yeah, like, as soon as you start throwing hands, or as soon as they start deeming you a problem, that's when they skip all the community together.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy to see that stuff happen in person. Like, I remember I was on a bus ride a couple months ago, and like on the bus ride outside of the window, because you know you look out the window on the bus because it's something to do.
Buses do
I
have
just
windows.
see like, yeah, like I just see like a couple of cop cars surrounding this other car, and I guess there was a car accident that had happened. Where it's like, huh, I never thought I would see that in person, but here I am. Where it's like, you just wonder the context. It's like kind of scary, but like you're also just morbidly curious as well.
It's a wyvern.
Mikhail, Dragon Guard 3, just like,
I hate wyverns. Lesser dragons that think they could just like blow a bunch of fireballs and that's enough. Huh, I hate wyverns.
I love Mikhail so much. He's just such a baby. I love him. Like, I wish there was like Dragon Guard 3 merch, just period, because I don't really think there is any. So it's just like, if a Mikhail plush existed, I would have like 10, because I love him so much. He's baby.
You know, talking to police, I remember there was another incident. This was in,
That was great.
I want to say 2022. This was in February. This was like during a storm and shit. So on buses, no smoking and no vaping. You know, standard rules, right?
Yeah.
There were these kids.
Great view. What a nice home.
All right, Ricotta, thanks for interrupting me. There were these kids who were vaping, but they were trying to be discreet, like you know, they would like bend over so they're hiding in front of the seats. But of course, you know, the vape cloud wasn't exactly you know, doing them any favors.
Wasn't exactly subtle. Like, I see people try to get away with that on the train all the time around here. Like, I haven't seen that on the bus, but I've seen it on the train plenty of times, and it's become such a problem on the trains that sometimes I will just get off at a stop, not to get off at that stop, but just to transfer train cars because I cannot handle the smell. Like, I was actually on a trip with Wholesome Friend a couple months ago, and we're on the train, and, you know, train ride's going nice so far, and me, I have phantom smells, so my first thought when I'm smelling like smoke or something really weird on the train is like, okay, is it a phantom smell? Let me try calming myself down, let me try thinking of something else. If I have like a jar of Vicks or a Vicks stick on me, I'll sniff that to see if the smell goes away. But the smell wasn't going away, and I'm like, I turned to Wholesome Friend and I'm like, do you smell that? It smells like smoke or like burning flowers or something. Specifically, it smelled like burning flowers. And I'm like, do you smell that, or am I just crazy? Is that a phantom smell? He's like, no, I smell it too. So we're looking around, and we can't see anything that smells like burning flowers. And it's not like the track on the train is on fire or anything. So we just moved seats. And then, unfortunately, the seat we happened to move to was the source of the burning flower smell, because there's this dude just like vaping but trying to be subtle about it. And so what we end up doing, we have to get off at the next stop, just transfer train cars, and then suddenly the smell was all gone. It's like, oh my god, relief. But yeah, you see people on the trains here just like trying to get away with vaping, and like they're either super subtle about it or they're just like not subtle at all, just like sucking on the vape stick. And it's like, motherfucker, your base, it's no different from smoking. It's all the same chemicals and all that. Like, it's awful. Just don't do that. There's no smoking on the train. I think vaping should be included in that.
Well,
Yeah.
well, the best part in this story was that, like, obviously the driver didn't notice, but you know, I couldn't exactly stand the vape. You know, the fucking disgusting mix of chemical smell.
And that's the thing too. Like, they smell terrible.
Yeah, I decided to be a bit like like make the driver aware, and instead of going up and telling the driver, I decided to be subtle, and by subtle I mean I would have a coughing fit whenever the vape cloud was visible. The driver must...
So just that British politeness and what's it called again? Passive aggressiveness.
Yeah. So when he finally noticed, he pulled over and he spoke to the kids, and you know, said that, you know, there's no vaping allowed at all. And you know, like, you would think that'd be the end of it, where it's like, you know, just like, look, there's no vaping, please put your vape away. And it's like, okay, sorry, mate. And that'd be it. No, apparently not. One of them really didn't take kindly to it. He was very aggressive. Like, he was demanding the driver just, you know, he's like, I'm not gonna fucking do it, just get back on the fucking wheel, start fucking driving. And the driver was like, nah, listen, like, I'm not gonna tolerate that. Like, I'm just telling you, there's no vaping. It's rules. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, get back to fucking driving. Before I bash your fucking skull in. And he went, all right, I'm not gonna tolerate that. So the driver called the police on the kid for threatening violence. And we were just sat there.
Yeah, like, at least here, at least in my area, like, threatening or, like, assaulting a bus driver is a felony. So, is that the same thing over there?
Well,
or?
it's like threatening of assault, like, you know, like intent to harm, and you know, it's like it's on public transportation, so you know, it's like the driver's looking out for the safety of himself and the passengers and stuff like that.
But is it a felony to assault a bus driver like it is over here?
Well, assault's assault. Like,
no, because I mean, like, there's a difference between like a felony and like a normal crime. Like a felony is a fuck me in the ass prison. Meanwhile, like, something that's not a felony is a significantly lesser charge, so you're not going to suffer as much, like that kind of thing.
Well, it's also a case where it's like, you know, if the driver wants to press charges and stuff like that, like they always have the option to press charges. Like, you know, in this case, he just wanted the kids off his bus, and he called, you know, so he called the police and stuff like that. We were there for a good about like half an hour. Kid was just sitting there demanding driver, you know, like, just get fucking going, you fucking wanker, stuff like that. So the police came, pulled the kid into their car and questioned him. They called his mother, and then, like, as he was getting off, not only was it revealed that he was, you know, vaping on a bus, which, you know, is illegal to do so, and threatening violence, he also had weed on him.
And weed is not legal over there, is it?
No, well, medicinally it is, but like you have to have an actual doctor's note. But no one under the age of 18 would ever be prescribed cannabis.
And recreational weed is definitely not a thing over there. It's legal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure recreational is definitely illegal. But just like we were just there. Just like the moment we heard that like the mum was being called, everyone on the bus went, ooh.
There's some grade school things that like go into your adulthood and it never gets old. Yeah.
So and it was just like he was just there, just like calling, just like, fuck it, just go. Mother's called and he was surprisingly quite quiet after that. I remember I saw
that mom was gonna like whoop his ass when he got home.
I remember I saw a comment. I can't remember where I saw it, but I kind of agree with it. Where it's like, it's like, you know, those Miranda rights that are being read out to you and stuff. You know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say will be used against you in court and stuff like that. I would love in those rights where it said, we will also notify your mother of your criminal activity. So we're helping.
That sounds interesting.
So we're helping Kina for making Anne Charm.
We're making Anne Charm with ADOL, who is Anne Hero.
Who wrote this? Jeremy Clarkson? There's definitely like Anne Carr.
Anne a lot?
Hmm?
Like, does he use Anne a lot in his speech?
He does when he's like being like humorous and stuff. You know, it's like I have it eel. You know, like the way he just like phrases stuff like that. Like Anne Carr. Iguana with a silver necklace. So Kina needs to make a little charm. I forgot what material she needs.
See, that's the other reason I haven't played an RPG in forever, because like I reached a certain point in RPGs where it's like they give me the quest, and then I just get so distracted doing other shit, I basically soft lock myself because I don't know what else I need to do.
This is why
I gotta play Dust again, because the first time I played Dust, and I think I played it, like, we were in a voice call together, I think you saw me play it, and then I just got so distracted, like, killing things, that I'm like, I forgot what I need to do in the story! And then my cousin played Dust on, like, a new save that I had made for him when he visited once. He played it once and that was it. And I'm like, oh, well, if you like this game, like, it's probably on, like, the Xbox store, because he's an Xbox kid. And I told him about it. I don't think he ever ended up getting it. But yeah. But I mean, it's the same kid that also played It Takes Two, like, about, I think, like, 7 times. So I don't know. I think he just has a particular taste in games. Well, that reminds me, Brothers remake, and Brothers was like the first game that I ever played with that kid. We shared the controller, and it was adorable.
I think it had a Switch port.
I know that it had a mobile port a few years ago, and yeah, like my uncle questioned getting like the version of it on the iPad for, again, the kid that I played it with, because he was a baby at the time. He was a youngin'. And my uncle was buying apps for him on the iPad just, to, distract his little child mind. But, yeah, they ended up not getting it. But he grew up to love Xbox. He's an Xbox kid. So I wonder if he knows if there's gonna be a remake. It's like, Brothers didn't really need a remake per se. Like, the original game is fine as is. So it's like, are they adding anything new? Or is this just a re-release of the old content, but just a new package? Yeah. So I don't know any details about the remake, but it just seems like it's gonna be the same game, just like updated graphics. But I gotta play Brothers again. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play with him again. He is no longer a bebe. He's no longer a young'un. He's a full-grown teenager now, and it's crazy to me that, oh my god, he grew up into a teenager. It's like, I don't know if he's gonna want to play it with me anymore, like the way we used to play when he was a baby. Because, like, you can technically make Brothers 2-player if you just share the controller, at least for the original. I wonder if they're gonna add, like, true co-op in the re-release. Because if there's factual, like, separate controller co-op in the re-release, then that means I can play with him again with our own controllers, so we don't have to, like, sit in the same chair and just use the same controller. Yeah.
Hey, welcome!
Just going to that side quest I was doing quickly, like, that's, the side quests in 8 are why I love the game, because the side quests all help, like, like they go into, like, the characters of the castaways. Most of what the castaways need help with the village, and there's never a moment where you're just like, oh, I need you to get 3 of these because, like, Kina there, she wanted a charm to put on the captain's grave, and like, it's great character building, and it's why I think the 9th game fails in that regard, because it kind of forgets why the side quests are there, and they just come off as very generic in Monstrum Nox. And when you're like,
it kind of reminds me of the quests for, like, Dark Cloud, because, like, Dark Cloud, you have to build the village up from, nothing, essentially, because the village got wiped out, so you have to build it from scratch all over again. So there's a bit of city planning in that game, but then also, like, the villagers have quests for you as well. And that establishes, like, some characterization, but also it helps you unlock more stuff for the town. Like, one quest, the main character, Toan's mother, is like, oh, I would love for our house to be in a place where I could watch the sunrise. So you have to position their house in a way that, like, the sunlight will come in through their window. And the game has a day and night cycle too, so you have to plan that very carefully. You have to have the house in a certain orientation, and then once you, like, put the house in, like, the perfect spot, you unlock this nice little cutscene, and it's very adorable. It's very wholesome, but it's like, Toan really loves his mom and all that. Yeah, but I haven't played Dark Cloud in forever. Like, I still have it. I just don't have my PS2 set up. And, like, I would have to set up basically a TV or like a second monitor in my room to like play it on stream especially, or just even to play it in general.
Great
I
job,
need
everyone.
adapters and everything too.
All
I
right.
also need an Elgato. Like, I think I still have the one that I got a few years ago originally, but I'm not sure if it actually works.
What version do you have?
I don't know. I'll have to go through my Amazon history and look it up. Like, it's been a very long time since I've played PS2 games. It's like, yeah. But I have a complicated relationship with my PS2 because it's so old. It's like I don't want to play it and then it just dies when I want to enjoy it again. I'm not sure how much repairing it would cost. I could theoretically get like another PS2 for the sake of streaming that seems like slightly better condition, or it's not as old or not as used as mine is. But then it's like, okay, that's a lot of money and it's probably going to cost me an arm and a leg. Like, yeah, I don't know. The PS2 is a very precious console, and it's a shame that like
ADOL.
not every single game that I like on that console has gotten re-released. It's like if Burnout 3 Takedown and Burnout Revenge got re-releases, like on Steam or whatever, or even if it was on like a more modern console like the PS5 or whatever, I would get it. I love those games. But yeah, it's just not in the cards. I would either have to look into emulation at that point to try to like if my actual PS2 dies, or I'd just have to keep like hunting down PS2s that are in better condition. I mean, I love Burnout. I love Dark Cloud. I love like all my other games on PS2. And, like even the shitty ones, even the ones that were very clearly shovelware, had like a certain level of nostalgia to them.
I mean, didn't
Like,
Burnout Paradise get remastered?
I also played Maker on the PS2, which it was a pain to type anything in that game for the sake of coding, but like it taught me a little bit of coding that I ended up taking to like the PC version of RPG Maker later on in my life. Not that I actually made a game with it, but I mean, hey, it taught me coding.
And now we're having our own little heart-to-hearts.
Don't sell yourself.
I love a heart-to-hearts in this game.
You've been through a lot for someone your age.
Oh yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
remarkable young man. I know I've already told you this, but I have 6 kids. All boys
You're like a
too.
cat.
They're so wonderful.
I'm just
They're
funny and
nowhere
I'm
near
tired.
as brave or strong as you at all. But you remind me of them just the same. They're good boys, and my husband's a good man. I'm sure they're doing fine without me.
What's this lady's deal?
She is a mother of 6, and she runs a restaurant with her husband.
Damn, 6 kids, lucky her.
Lucky her, or her husband just can't even pull out of a car park.
I hadn't really thought about that. I'm sure they'll be
Well, I mean, hey, it's the same with my dad. So either his wife is just very fertile, or they just really, really like each other.
Can't wait to see
I
their
mean, she's very flirtatious as well, so I wouldn't be surprised
at all.
if like she kept saying, "I want more kids."
I mean, hey, if I was in her shoes and I had someone up for the task, that would also be me.
I have a lot of hungry mouths to feed. Time to whip up a home-cooked meal and fill everyone's bellies.
Also, really good figure for a mother of 6. I'm just like, what? How much did I get? I forgot. 32. 32 and a mother of 6. Good lord. That is prime MILF material.
I mean, depending on the age of the oldest son, that could be a very sad story behind why she has 6 kids, or maybe she just had multiples.
I mean, from all the implications, the husband is the father of all 6.
Again, depending on how old the oldest child is.
Well, we don't know. We have
That
no
could
idea.
Yeah.
Like, all we know is that, like, you know, she's just a mother of 6. I kind of wish we saw more of like other characters. You know, like Zahadi is talking about his wife and daughter. I kind of wish that we saw like, you know, some more flashbacks of him with his family.
Yeah.
Like, that's always the thing. I'm very much the kind of person where it's like, give me all the context, give me like all of the information, give me all the backstory. I just want information. But yeah, I'm very much like that with my own writing too. And I mean, sometimes you write yourself in circles as a result, but I mean, hey, it's like you just like seeing stories blossom, as it were.
So we're nearing we're not exactly at the end of the game, but we're coming kind of close. So this is when the second wave of the gifts appear. So it's all just you know, max out the approvals, give the gifts, and you know, you'll have good heart-to-hearts.
Well, that's nice.
I still find it crazy that Donna had underboob, but I didn't even notice. Which is like very weird because you don't often see underboob on like a flat-chested character, but there you go.
I mean, you said it, not me.
I mean, she's very pretty, and I just thought like that top was fuller the last time that I saw you play this game. I never noticed that it wasn't as full as I thought. So I just find it very interesting in terms of character design because like I've been working on my VTuber design for like a year, and there are many times where I thought like, should I like stick to like clothes that I would kind of wear in reality? Should I make them fantasy-like, or should I just go something that's totally against what I would normally wear? And all that. So like I considered like trying to put myself in something a little bit like revealing, but it's like, that's not really true to who I am entirely, so I must resist. What I could do instead, though, is that I can make other VTuber designs, kind of adopt them out, and then I could be the mother of VTuber children. But yeah. And then also, I struggle with trying, like, flat-chested women or just, like, smaller boobs in general. Like, unfortunately, I put all my art skill points into trying, like, just, like, adult women with big titties. So, yeah. I don't know, I guess I just kind of find it weirdly fascinating. It's like, oh, you have underboob, but you're also pétant and you are flat-chested.
Well, it's actually,
I mean,
it's actually interesting you
it's
say
more
that.
convenient than if you had that same top with a much larger chest. So, she's making it work.
I guess like in terms of Dana's design, the way the underboob is presented, it looks a bit unnatural, if that makes sense.
I mean, we don't know what material that thing is made out of, but like in real life, and this is my fashion knowledge coming in, depending on the material, that's either going to result in slips, or to keep everything in place, she's gonna need fashion tape. Or that's gonna be just a very, like, rough material that's, like, basically cutting off part of the boob. Not literally, it's not, like, gonna cut part of the actual boob off, like, literally. It's just more, like, in terms of circulation and all that. But I'm not sure what material could be that tight to have that firm of a grip on it, while also still allowing for underboob. Unless it's, like, very tight elastic, but that's not, like, a natural material, obviously. Assuming that she's from, like, an ancient race where those, like, modern materials don't exist yet.
I mean, if we look at, like, Dana's design here, like, if we look at the back, like, it does hug the body quite a bit. So
I'm assuming it's, like, a leather kind of, like, top for armor or whatever. So assuming it's leather, I've never worked with leather before in my life, so I genuinely can't say. I'm more, like, my alma mater is basically just in modern materials and modern clothing. So yeah. You see, that's a much cuter outfit. Like, I can understand how that outfit works.
I'm not sure about the open.
I'm
not sure about the open sides on the trouser legs, though.
I mean, I've seen a lot of, like, open concept designs. Like, I've seen people, like, put, like, grommets on hoodies and then just, like, put, like, thread or laces or string, like, through the grommets to have it be, like, laced up so you can kind of adjust it to your comfort level. Which is very useful for those who, like, might need to size up but don't want to buy, like, a whole other garment and just want to kind of size up on a budget, provided they have grommets and like, thread to use as ties. But yeah, like, I'm partially experimenting with that myself, because, in my attempt at, like, a 1.0 version of my model, I do have an open slit, because, I am just the thigh lady. And I like showing off my thighs if I can help it. So I've experimented with like, okay, well there's an open slit in the dress. What if I put like grommets on the side or just like buttonholes and then just put like a lace through it? Like a piece of string through it, and then I could just like close it up as necessary. And then when it's closed, it'll have like a ribbon pattern on it. And then when it's open, it'll have like the ribbon be exposed, kind of like on Donna's pants that you saw. But I can't quite settle on it. I'm not sure if I actually want it or not because I feel like that'd be kind of distracting. And then with making VTuber designs specifically, that's like the one kind of character design where you are allowed to be as top heavy as possible because you're mostly seeing those designs from the waist up. If even from the waist up, sometimes it's from the bust up. So we need a lot of attention on the top of the character's head and around their face and on their torso, their upper torso. So you don't really have to pay attention to what's on the bottom as much. And if I were to put like a lace closure or like a ribbon closure on the slit of my dress, then it's going to attract a lot of attention to the thigh area, which is bare at the moment. But you're not really supposed to pay attention to that in terms of like VTuber character design. You're supposed to pay attention to the top portion of the design. So yeah. It's just interesting character design stuff that I've been learning in the past year.
I would say I do like the Deserted Pirate DLC outfits. I think they're Switch exclusive. Well, they started on the Switch first, but you know, they're nicely designed. Except for Luxius, which just went all in on the fan service.
Almost done. Well, I think there's just a few more weeds.
Like I love alternate costumes in games, but I'm very much the person where I don't like the silly costume options that aren't going to work in universe. I like the ones that fit in universe but are also very pretty.
Yeah.
Well, I do work at it every day.
Like, what about you? Do you like the jokey costume options or?
I don't. In terms of joke costumes, I don't mind them. Like I do like alternate costumes that are good as like a little like reference or something like that. Or it's like, you know, you see one character and depending on the studio, you just think, oh, of course that's what the costume is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I just like costumes that fit in universe, like, but then with jokey costumes, it's like, okay, the jokey there has to be really good and fit in universe for me, or otherwise I'm just not going to appreciate it. Like in one of the Fatal Frame games that I think is for the Wii U, there's a joke costume where you can play as Mario and Luigi and just have the girls in like a Mario and Luigi outfit. But for me, it's like, I would never play with that costume on purpose. Because that's obviously a joke outfit. It doesn't really fit in universe, and it's like I'd rather my characters be in something nicer that fits with them in their style in universe. Rule of Rose also has a couple of joke costumes where there's one costume where you can be an octopus, and then your dog is a crab. I think that's the biggest joke costume in Rule of Rose that I can think of.
So
and then like and even with Project Diva, like I guess the Sonic costume is kind of a joke, but like Miku's an idol. Idols wear just about anything you put them in, so that makes sense to me in the context that Miku is an idol and all that.
So fun fact about the Nintendo costumes in Project Zero, those are English only. And they're actually replacements for Japanese costumes, which were basically they were very like skimpy, like revealing, like, you know, like outfits that.
Yeah, I remember there was controversy around that when that game was coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, like schoolgirl outfits, you know, mini skirts, like they get wet, you can see the bra and stuff. And I think given that the character was 16, that obviously didn't sit well. So when it came out in the West, yeah, they just had Nintendo themed costumes, like, you know, she could dress as Zero Suit Samus and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's like, on the one hand, I have to applaud that studio for like, wow, you're actually capturing like fabric physics and how fabric would behave in real life, because I'm just kind of a freak like that, where it's like, okay, can you make the fabric behave like it would in real life? Can you make the hair behave like it would in real life? Because like that's just kind of the person I am. Like even for the longest time, whenever I would just draw like a character in clothing that I already wore in real life, because it would use my wardrobe as actual drawing reference. And all that, so it's like I'm always studying like, okay, how does this material behave? What does it do? How does it feel? Like that kind of thing. So on the one hand, That's some dedication right there. On the other hand, it's a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So that part doesn't make me that very comfortable. That part actually kind of worries me. Why is that girl's skirt so high? Like, damn.
So she at the start she did have she is a nun. So
Yeah.
at the start of the game she did have a long skirt that went down to the floor and stuff. During one of the side quests, you're escorting her to the top of a valley where she can pray to gods. But in one of the cutscenes, she trips, and she worries that because of her long skirt, she'll keep tripping over, thus be an inconvenience for ADOL. So her response is to rip her skirt to make it much shorter, and
The way that skirt is ripped, though, the way it's ripped, that would be flashing all of her women's bits and her butt cheeks.
Yeah.
That is too short.
I mean, she ripped it up in spur of the moment, so I guess she didn't have time to be, delicate with the angle.
Like, if that part that's kind of hanging off in that strip was like the rest of the skirt, and she could just kind of undo it there, and it's just tied up like that for the sake of hiking, that'd be kind of understandable. But if she just ripped it off like that, and it's just that short, congratulations, lady, you are showing your nethers to the world. Because, like, I've had shorts that were very, very short, and unfortunately, if the shorts are too short, they show butt cheeks, and it's not very fun. And it's not very sanitary.
But then you have to remember, this is a Japanese-made game.
Yeah, again, this is just my fashion knowledge speaking to me. It's like, I actually have, like, schooling on, like, how all this stuff would work and how this fabric would behave in reality. Like, what the fuck? Why is it that short?
What's honestly funny, I played a game called God Eater, which, like, I got on Switch because it was, like, dirt cheap, and I was very curious about it, right?
Oh yeah, I think I might have that too. I think I might have gotten it in a Humble Bundle.
So I checked it out, and the Switch version came with a lot of DLC costumes, right?
Oh yeah, I got Eater 3.
Yeah, God Eater 3. Does fuck game, I did not like it. But yeah, so like I got the game out of morbid curiosity, and you can choose your own, like male or female avatar. And when I was looking through the costumes, I'm thinking like, okay, these are fine. Then I saw school uniform, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. The guy there is wearing a basic smart blazer and trousers. And then I saw like swimwear, and he always has a shirt and swimming trunks. So out of curiosity, I booted up a new profile and picked female avatar. Went to the costumes, and there's the fan service.
Yeah.
Schoolgirl in miniskirts, skimpy bikinis, one-piece school swimsuit, and I'm like, yeah, I should have fucking known.
Yeah. And it's like, I like sailor fukus, I like the collars, I like the way they fit. They're very comfy, they're very warm, so I very much enjoy them, but not as, like, a kink, not as, like, fetish material. I just like the way they fit on me, because they're comfy, and I like comfy clothes.
Oh no,
yeah,
fucking,
like...
there's also another one in East Origin, like, as you go through the game, you can unlock alternate versions of 3 characters. So you have Unica, Hugo, and Toll, right? As you progress later on, beat their stories, you can unlock alternate versions, which they have slightly different moveset. Basically, make things a little bit more challenging, right? And what I didn't know is when you beat the alternatives and you do well in I think it's in the time trial sections, you get an alternate for Unica. And I'm there thinking, oh, I wonder what this alternate is. Boot it up, schoolgirl. I was like, really, guys?
Great job.
It's like, could you not go one game without just letting your true colors show?
Crazy. Like, yeah. I mean, fan service is very subjective. But when it comes to, like, certain outfits that are associated with a certain demographic of people that are fan service outfits or marketed as fan service outfits, that sometimes concerns me.
I mean...
And now I'm so distracted by the fact that her skirt's hiked up so high, it's like... I want you to cover up, lady. For your own sake.
I like how you're saying that you want Sister Nia to cover up. Meanwhile, fucking Dana here is a worse example of fan service.
No, because again, the way that skirt has been shortened, her nethers would be flapping in the wind. You're on an island in the middle of nowhere that has dinosaurs and other horrifying life forms on it. You need to protect your nethers.
I mean, I think in Nia's case, you know, God will protect her from everything. She's devoted to the church.
No, I don't mean in, like, that horrifying way. I mean just, like, wildlife and just dirt and other bacteria.
I mean, she doesn't leave the village, so she doesn't need to worry about that.
You could still get an infection, like, just from dirt and sand being everywhere. It's not like they have, like, wooden flooring or, like, devoted little cabins to themselves that they can, like, keep clean. So it's like, you just have Mother Nature everywhere, like... I would be concerned, like, your skirt is very short, your nethers are gonna be flashing everywhere, you're probably gonna get an infection of some kind, or, like, at least a really horrible UTI.
Oh, nah. You see, it's fine, because she can always bathe in the river, so there's nothing to worry about. Sam, you gotta understand, when they were making the character designs, they didn't think that people would actually think that far and just stare at them thighs.
I can't help it, I studied fashion.
You know, just like you, like, if you go to any character designer for any manga, and you question the logistics of like the origins and how that costume would work from a practical perspective, they would question why you gotta question it.
I don't know, I'm just the person where it's like, I use the material world as reference, so it's like, yeah, I don't know, like, the fact that it's so short kind of disturbs, like, you're on a deserted island, you need protection down there, like, someone give her a pair of leggings, please, at least. Like, the skirt might not be able to be safe, but at least give her leggings.
So we're doing another nighttime exploration. Because we gotta get some fucking grass. The doctor basically told us to go out and touch grass.
Oh yeah, the doctor that murdered everybody?
Nah. This is the replacement doctor.
Oh.
Because conveniently, there was a medical student who also knew a lot about medicine to be the replacement without any complications.
Huh.
Don't you love plot conveniences?
It highly depends on the context.
You what, sorry?
It depends on the context and, like, how that plot convenience is delivered. That just sounds like asshole. Like, that whole murder mystery arc was asshole.
I'm so cold, I'm so tired. But I can't sleep. I can't fall asleep. I'm not sleepy tired. I am just like, the cold is just making me yawn and it's making me just like, a nap would be nice, but I can't actually fall asleep if I take a nap.
Yeah, I know that
I don't
feeling.
like being cold. I want to be warm.
So, like, I've been talking about cats and questionable fashion design choices. How was your day been?
Day was fine. Chat with the work coach. You know, still not working.
Yeah, job market is hard, like, everywhere you go recently. It is, like, it's like, so hard out there. Like, it seems like 9 out of every 10 job postings are just, like, job postings that they had to put up just to look like a good company, but then they're not actually real, so you try to apply, but it's like, oh yeah, we're not hiring, or like, oh, the position's already been taken, etc., etc. It's like, it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So, like, these days, like whatever job you have, you just have to like hold on with like a fingernail. And you just kind of have to monetize every hobby you have, which like, you know how hard that is? You know how painful that is? It's like, I can't just have a hobby to enjoy it. I have to monetize it somehow in order to like not die. Yeah. It's tough as fuck out there.
And in my case, for me to monetize my hobby, I need to get book sales, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah. Or like, you need to put up, like, so fun fact about me. A hobby that I have is that occasionally I like going down like the self-help rabbit hole because I like seeing what advice is actually good and what advice is obviously shit. And something I thought about doing, which I'm not sure if I can do it now or I would have to like make a different channel to do that particular thing, but I would love to do like self-help advice that is actually decent and actually good and can fit for even the most sensitive of situations. But when you fall down these self-help rabbit holes, you see a lot of the advice when it comes to like trying to make money in particular that is just so obviously bullshit. To where it's like you don't even need to watch the whole video, but it's like they just need to say a couple of key phrases or keywords and it's like, okay, I can tell you're a crock of shit. But yeah, I would go down like these self-help rabbit holes. Just to like determine whether or not the advice was good. And then when it comes to like monetizing art, you see like the scummiest and shittiest advice. And then when it comes to writing as a form of art, there are these people that's like, okay, like just try to make like low effort books. Like just try to make a coloring book, or try to make like a puzzle book, or try to make like another kind of like low effort book that people will just buy. So that way you don't really have to think about it that much. You don't have to care about the content, but you can just like keep putting out books and charging money for them. It's like, I mean, okay, that's certainly one way to go about it, but realistically, how many coloring books are people buying on average? What is the audience for coloring books? And also, say if you're a parent or someone in a parental position, you're probably going to want like a coloring book for your child now. So you're probably not going to get it on Amazon or other self-publishing sites. You're probably just going to go to the 99-cent store or the Dollar Tree and just get the cheapest coloring book you can find to shut your child up for a while. So it's like, it's not a thing that I see like parents buying on Amazon. It has to be a very specific coloring book for that, or it has to be like an adult coloring book, because those exist. And it's like, it's the same with cooking too. Like, oh, like if you have a little bit more time and effort to spare, you can make a cookbook, because like cookbooks are one of those things that kind of get spammed into oblivion in the book publishing world. So it's very easy to write a cookbook and get a cookbook out, especially if you're doing it the self-publishing route, where there aren't as many checks and balances. But yeah, it's like, okay, so you just want me to spam to make money. As if that is a guarantee of success.
I remember
It's very interesting out there.
I remember I was talking to my mum once about like books and stuff, because one of the issues I had with Honest Bonds when I did the rewrite is after I finished it, I realized how big it was. This is before I split it into two, and I remember and my mum just didn't quite understand, because when I was talking to her about it, her question was like, do you really need all the story? Like, can't you just cut some of it out? And it's like, I can't just cut out the book. Like,
yeah, because like when you're a writer, you cut out all the fluff already. You try to keep as much fluff in there as possible to make you happy, but then there's some stuff that just desperately needs to be cut for like plot reasons and because like there's no purpose for it. But even then, it's like, so you're expecting just half the story to exist. Like, you just want me to cut out like all the interesting stuff that I thought would be fun and cool and it's not relevant to me, but you just want a shorter book. Yeah, so, yeah. And then that's when you made the decision, like, okay, I can just cut this book in half, split it into two parts, make it a duology, and then right later just make it a series. Which was a good choice. Because it's going to be more cost effective for you, it's going to be more cost effective to a potential audience that's willing to buy books. And that's something that even I'm doing, not necessarily like in terms of like trying to write shorter stories, but like in terms of consuming books and consuming fiction, I try to find shorter stories recently so I can enjoy more stories in like less time. And I've also been listening to a lot of audiobooks that I can find for free on YouTube, so that certainly helps. You know, let's put them on in the background while I'm drawing or cleaning or cooking or whatever, and yeah, it's definitely an easy way to consume fiction, but it's like, I prefer them to be short. Or, it could be a long book, but like, do each chapter individually, so that way I could just enjoy it at my own pace, and I'm not listening to the same story for like 6 hours. And yeah. It's definitely interesting in publishing and just writing, though.
Boy, get back here. Get back here, I'm not done with you. Cheeky bastard. He thought he could run.
Oh, he's stuck in the mountain! Or the cave, or whatever that is.
You what, sir?
He got stuck in the rock.
He was running away from me. He deserved to die.
He put himself in the corner.
Yeah, if you kill him, you can make dino nuggies.
I think I asked, like, Eddie and Z this, but it's like, is there ever, like, a game that has, like, a move in it that you love pulling off because it's so satisfying to do?
A lot of stuff in Bayonetta I like pulling off, but for me, Bayonetta is just like, ah yes, press buttons, make stuff happen, fight a cool lady with glasses. So just all of Bayonetta for me, really.
I like Bayo. Bayo is cool.
I still need to play it.
It's a shame that like the later games are just Switch exclusive or like Nintendo exclusive, so I can't complete the entire series on the PC. But...
I mean, you know the reason for that, though, right?
Well, yeah, I know the reason for it, because Nintendo was literally the only publisher that gave them a chance.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks, but it sucks for me just because I can't stream anything but PC for right now, so everything I do is just gonna have to have a PC port of some kind, because I can't stream consoles yet. Like, I think to stream a console, I would have to get a second computer and just keep it in the living room, and then I only have like a Switch Lite, so I would need to get a normal Switch as well in order to play those games on the TV, and then shoot from the TV onto an Elgato that will stream it onto the computer, and then I can use OBS to stream it. So it's gonna involve a lot of steps.
It also sucks a Bayonetta when the voice actress got too greedy for her own good.
Yeah, like playing Bayonetta 1 is just so bittersweet. It's like, oh my god, I've been wanting to play this game since I was literally a child. But oh my god, Helena Taylor is just such an asshole. And the worst part is that she's like the perfect voice for Bayonetta. Like, that is a voice actor character role that like you can't separate the two. It's like Mike Pollock as Eggman.
Yeah.
It's like people just have grown up with Mike Pollock as Eggman. It's like if Mike Pollock were to die or retire from that role, it would sting badly. So it's the same with Helena Taylor. Like, she's the perfect voice for Bayonetta. And I don't mind Jennifer Hale as Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3, but ideally, if Helena Taylor weren't an asshole, you would have Jennifer Hale be Bayo 3's version of Bayonetta, who is, you know, time-displaced Cereza from Bayonetta 1, and then have Helena Taylor come back as the original two Bayonettas, and just have them, like, take on the different alternate universe Bayo roles. And, you know, just kind of have them swap every now and again. Like, that would have been ideal. That way, by having Jennifer Hale be time-displaced adult Cereza, it would symbolize that that's time-displaced Cereza. Whereas having Helena Taylor be the original two Bayos would symbolize, okay, those are the Bayos that we've had in the past. So, like, there's clearly a difference there. Because honestly, there's not too much variation in Jennifer Hale's voice when she's voicing all the different AU Bayonettas, which is a bit unfortunate. You can just tell it's Jennifer Hale. And yeah, it's just sad. Like, I don't want to play Bayonetta 3 for a lot of reasons. Like, as much as I love Bayonetta as a franchise, Bayonetta 3 just really... It makes me depressed. Because, like, it had so much potential, but its final execution is just... It makes me sad. Like, I need a PO6 for Bayonetta 3. That's how much it hurts me.
I mean, there were other plans for Bayonetta 3. It was meant to be something else, where they had to like scrap it and restart from the beginning because like,
basically, yeah.
I think it's like the Switch couldn't handle their plans, or like they were taking too long or something like that. I can't quite remember what it was.
I think it was a creative decision, yeah. So I think they were just taking too long. They didn't like how the story was working out originally, so they basically just said, okay, retcon everything and just start from square one.
Right.
So that's very unfortunate from the creative end of things, but yeah. So it quite literally is like the Sonic 06 of Bayonetta. Like, where it had a lot of potential. It can be good in some places, but then the final execution of just the entire project is not that great. And I'm pretty sure gameplay it's fine, but again, that story is what kills me. And yeah, it's like, the only good thing about it, my ship that I've had since I was literally a child became canon. On the other hand, it did not become canon under circumstances that I appreciate. Yeah. That sucks.
Fucking hell, I barely survived that entire shit.
But hey, you survived.
I know, but I've got no potions left. Like, fuck!
Okay, it'd be like that. It'd be like that sometimes.
There was just so many in here! Whew! Well, now we got that ordeal out of the way. There was actually something I wanted to say earlier, but we kind of went away from the topic. But I can't want to bring it up before I forget. When you were talking about like how you would design your VTuber and stuff around like outfits, that was actually like a mindset I sort of had with the character designs in my book. Was I didn't want the outfits to be too complicated, because while it is a fantasy setting, you would expect some like different clothes. It is like, you know, it's still like a modern setting in a way, you know.
You basically went by like a OG Ruby like costume design rules, where it's like, okay, if the costume can exist in real life and be easy for cosplayers, I would rather do that than come up with something completely fantasy-like. Whereas everything after Volume 3 just became modern-ish fantasy, and the costumes are a lot more complicated. And not as cosplay-friendly anymore, so yeah.
I suppose then, yes. Like you know, I didn't want to go too over the top with like the designs. I think the only one I did was Ghoul. With like the way his robe is and how how he's just covered in like honest bonds and stuff, like that would be difficult for cosplayers, but I was just thinking of just...
It's still possible, but you're gonna have to put more effort into it, basically.
Yeah, like I was just thinking, just like with designs, like there's no real reason why these would be too extravagant. Like, you know, for these characters who still walk around and talk normally, there's no reason why they would like dress like they're always going to dress like they're going to slay a monster at 2 PM and then go to the gala at 3 PM.
Yeah, like, I still find it funny that, like, when you had Gual designed, like, in my brain, because he was never described originally, so in my brain I just pictured him as, like, a male version of Salem from Ruby. Because I really like Salem from Ruby, I love her design, I want to pet her, I want her to succeed, because Ruby at this point is just in the shitter story-wise, so I just want Salem to succeed because I love her so much. So in my brain, I just pictured like a male Salem, but I couldn't get that idea down on paper. So when you showed me like your actual design for now, I was like, but he's not hot anymore. It's in my brain.
Oh, oh no, he's not.
Oh no, he's not hot.
I mean, like, I don't blame you for thinking that in the original, but like, because I have a like, you know, an actual backstory for him in the rewrite. Which I won't go into detail here. Like, it wouldn't make sense for him to be like a male Salem.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I struggle to draw men, but I also struggle to draw like old men. And I feel like old men are just like, okay, you cannot lewd the old man, you cannot fan service the old man. Old men are just grandpa. They take you to Home Depot, they take you to the micro center, they drive you around in their car with grandma, like that kind of thing. Like, you do not lewd old men. Old men are not sexy to me, like, whatsoever.
You don't...
Old men are wholesome to me. So it's just like, by default, even if a character's supposed to be old, I just kind of picture them as younger by default.
You don't lewd old
works.
men. Meanwhile, Heihachi from Tekken.
At least he has a shirt. At least he covers up. And it's like, he's a buff like, the not kung fu necessarily, like, but a martial arts fighter dude. So, like, yeah, he's gonna be fan servicey to somebody, but no, even Heihachi to me is like, he's an asshole, but he is still a grandpa. You do not lewd grandpa. Grandpa is not fan service.
I mean, that doesn't stop people before, let's be honest.
I know, but at least for me, it's just like, if a character is a certain age, or it's like, no lewds, just wholesome.
I mean, God's sake, how much, I dread to imagine how much Rule 34 there is of Grandpa Max from Ben 10.
And, like, canonically, Grandpa Max got around.
Oh yeah, he fucks! Like, he really fucks!
We'll always have Roswell.
It's just like, there's always, like, every alien woman in Ben 10, there's a 90% chance that she knows who Grandpa Max is. No,
yeah.
And not for the reason that you think. It's like, oh, you must have worked with her when you're a plumber. Sure, Ben, let's go with that.
Yeah, like, looking back on that show, especially like the early show, like the implication that Grandpa knew all about the aliens was actually so clever in its implementation, but also they at every turn they implied that Grandpa Max fucked. But like they implied it in like a child-friendly way, like not ever saying they fucked, but like they were at least very close friends. All those alien women were just Grandpa's very special friends.
It's very, very special friends in the bedroom where they it is just, when you think back, it's like, nah, he fucking.
Yeah, like those alien women, Grandpa just had a lot of nightcaps with them. They were just very good friends to have over at night. It's fine though. They're just really good friends that you may or may not be related to. But yeah, like that was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like. It could just be because I was raised by my grandparents, so it's like, okay, older people of a certain age, you do not lewd them. But like, I know that, like, with Heihachi, for example, yeah, he has people that lewd him. Eggman has a couple fan artist simps out there, but it's like, no, he is wholesome, he is old man, he takes you to the micro center and repairs stuff around your house for you. He takes you to Home Depot. And especially now that he has Sage, now that he is canonically a father, it's like, no, you do not lewd the old man, no!
I do like seeing,
he needs to be a dad!
I do like seeing, like, fan art of just, like, Eggman being a dad to Sage. It's cute.
I just like the idea of Eggman being a family man in general. Like, I've seen a lot of art where, like, if Maria was still alive, like, he would visit her constantly and, you know, just be, like, a good relative. You know, introducing Sage to Uncle Shadow, even though, like, Shadow was technically, like, their... no, introducing Sage to Cousin Shadow, even though, like, technically Shadow would be, like, his uncle or something. Like, that kind of thing. Just very wholesome stuff. But yeah, it's just like, that's my fan service for, like, old characters of a certain age. It's like, just have them be wholesome and nice and friendly, and have them, like, hang out with their kids, their grandkids, etc. Yeah, I don't know. But that's just me.
Have you ever... Okay. Topic change. But, you know, like Ben 10 made me think of it. Have you ever, like, had that moment where, like, you hear of this urban, like, myth or legend, and then you find out what it is, and you're just like, really? That? Like, that's the myth?
Well, there aren't really any urban legends where I come from, so...
Well, no, I don't mean local, but I mean, you know, like maybe even, you know, you hear about people talking about something they read online, like creepypasta or something, and then you check out the creepypasta, and it's like, that's what people are scared of?
Okay, well, for creepypastas, yeah, like, I don't really see why Sonic.exe got such hype around it. Yeah, that's kind of like the main one I can think about, because like Sonic.exe is a little bit like, ugh, but then it's like when you get into the story and what the story's trying to portray Sonic.exe as, it's like, really, that's it? You're just trying to be Doki Doki Literature Club before Doki Doki Literature Club even existed? And even like the original Sonic.exe story, which is the only creepypasta to ever get taken down off of the creepypasta wiki, and it's been reposted elsewhere, and it's been read into oblivion and made into fan games into oblivion. So like, you're not gonna lack for Sonic.exe content, especially if you're in the Friday Night Funkin' fandom. But that's a different story. Where it's like the original story is you have this kid, I think his name is Tom, and he's always liked Sonic games. And then he gets a package from his friend where it's like, don't play this Sonic game, just destroy it, don't play it. And Tom is an idiot, it's like, I'm gonna play it. And then he boots it up, and it's obviously a ROM hack, and all that. And then all the characters start dying, and hyper-realistic blood and all that. It's like, Eggman's not playable in a normal Sonic game, what the heck is this? And then at the end, the plushie comes to life and stabs him. It's like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, it's like, what the heck was going on in that story? Like, yeah, definitely a story.
Well, the reason why I asked the question to begin with is because there was one like myth or legend or whatever you call it that I heard about, which is the Bermuda Triangle, which was like, you know, the legendary triangle that anything goes through it and they sink. And, you know, Ben 10 made that a thing as well in one of the episodes that I remember vividly. And of course, I didn't know where Bermuda was, but, you know, I just heard about this this strange place that all ships sink when they go near it. And I was there thinking, like, oh no, like, that's very concerning. Like, how bad could it be? And then I saw the actual size of the Bermuda Triangle. I'm like, are you guys fucking kidding?
How big is the Bermuda Triangle in actuality?
Compared to the world, fucking tiny. I'll see if I can find a size comparison. I'm just like, it's literally just a dinky ass triangle. Like, like here it is. Compared to the United States, like that's the Bermuda Triangle. Although, yeah. And it's like, you look at that and it's like, really? And you look
that's still a pretty big area.
Yeah, but compared to the rest of the Atlantic Ocean, where way more ships have sunk outside of the fucking triangle.
I guess so, yeah, but I'm not a maritime person, honestly, so I wouldn't know all the logistics behind it. But yeah, like, that's a big superstition that people have. But I'm also the person where you don't fuck with the ocean. So even though I'm not like a full-time maritime person, I am a little bit like superstitious in the maritime sense, like in the classic, like, once a ship has a name, you cannot rename it, because renaming it is a curse. You have to just keep the ship's original name. That's a big maritime superstition. You know, red sky at morning, sailors take warning. Red sky at night, sailors delight. That's another one that I believe in. Yeah, but like, the only boating experience I have is kayaking. And just rowing and stuff, so I wouldn't know anything about going in the ocean, because I've also only ever done kayaking and like rowing in lakes, because at least those are nice and closed areas. In the ocean, I might as well be dead. I'm not gonna. I would never do it in the ocean. That's scary.
Well, like, I did look up about like sinkings of the, or you know, like all sinkings that people have attributed to the curse of the Bermuda Triangle and stuff. And like, okay, like a couple of them, a couple of like the incidences. There's no clear explanation as to what happened, which, you know, some people can, you know, point to the supernatural and be like, it's the triangle, it is. But then like you see one boat that like was going, I think was going from Quebec to Iceland, and that sank, and people said that was the curse of the Bermuda Triangle, but it was nowhere near the fucking triangle.
Triangle's nowhere near that route.
It like, the route didn't go in the triangle, it didn't even glance past the triangle, but everyone was like, no, it's the curse of the triangle, that is. Like, it was in proximity to the triangle. I'm like, I think we need a bigger fucking triangle here.
Yeah, like let me actually open Google Maps out of sheer curiosity because I've never known where Bermuda is either. And
It's off the
yeah,
coast
it's just
of.
a very tiny little island.
I think it's off the coast of Florida.
Yeah, it's like off the coast of, you know, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, like both Carolinas, basically. So it's very far away. Like Puerto Rico and the Bahamas are actually closer.
Perfect.
But yeah, so so like from Iceland to Quebec, yeah, that is nowhere near the triangle.
Yeah, but Bear was like,
Unless the triangle somehow shifted. Unless Bermuda is like an SCP in island form that can just move whenever it wants and expand the triangle.
I think I saw that someone tried to submit the Bermuda Triangle as an SCP, but I think it got rejected because that wasn't just like, you know, just like, come on, guys.
And that's not so much an SCP, that is just a thing that really exists, and that is a phenomenon that we can't always explain. So, like, that's not an SCP, that's just a thing that it just exists in our actual world. So, like, SCPs are all fictional. They can be inspired by, like, real-life urban legends and all that, but, like, they can't just be superstitious phenomena and all that.
I like SCP stuff, though. It's fun.
Yeah. It is nice.
I need to S-rank that.
Alright, let's begin. Leave it to me.
Like I said at the start of the stream, we were going to go to the Baja Tower. I'm still doing fucking side quests.
Wait, it's actually called the Baja Tower.
The Leaning Tower of Baja, yeah.
That just makes me think of like Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
It's Baja Tower. Completely unrelated.
I'm gonna get blasted at the Baja Tower.
Stupid American.
At the Baja Tower, there is like limitless Baja Blast from all the fountains. You can get limitless soda. Granted, I never actually had Baja Blast, and I don't really drink soda anymore, so I'm never gonna try Baja Blast, not on purpose. So I've never actually had it before. But like, have you ever heard of the big Baja Blast heist?
No. Because I know nothing about Taco Bell. What makes me I'm gonna know about this fucking... I only knew about Baja Blast because Solid JJ did a Death Note meme on it. That was all I know about Baja Blast.
Okay, so once upon a time, Baja Blast was a soda made by the same company that makes Mountain Dew and all that. But it was exclusive to Taco Bell restaurants at the time. So now I think they sell it in individual bottles that you can just buy and just have it in your home. But originally it was a Taco Bell exclusive. So there was this dude, I think on 4chan or some other forum site, I'm not sure which, where he was like, I'm gonna come up with a contraption to just get a bunch of Baja Blast from my local Taco Bell so I could just have a tankard of Baja Blast in my house. So he rigged a contraption with the help of the other forumites on that forum that were all for, you know, Operation Baja Blast, as they were calling it. So he rigged a cup, had a tube run from the cup to his sleeve that would run into a backpack.
I think I know that video keeps getting recommended to me. I just don't watch it because I don't know why the hell it gets recommended to me.
Yeah, it's basically just a dude just trying to steal a bunch of soda, a soda that was exclusive to Taco Bell restaurants at the time, and yeah. So it was literally a heist for soda. I know there's one dude with like an ugly Sonic dog looking avatar. I don't know about the avatar. I don't remember his username off the top of my head, unfortunately, but he did a video on that, and that's where I first heard about it.
But yeah.
So it's like, if it keeps getting recommended to you, it's a fine story. It's just epic soda heist. So if you like soda, and you like heists, you're gonna like the Operation Baja Blast.
I think the only heist thing I watched was the McDonald's Monopoly heist.
You know, that reminds me, I never finished the documentary. They made a documentary on it a few years ago. And
Yeah, they did. That's what I watched. It was quite interesting to see how much it went by. And poor Canada, they got fucked over big time.
What do you mean?
Because the way the McDonald's Monopoly worked is you had a chance of winning $1 million.
Yeah.
and it was advertised in both America and Canada. You know, like no matter where you were, you had a chance of winning $1 million. But the way they did it, because they basically chose where the $1 million tickets went, and every time, and they basically got all the cities listed up and hit shuffle, and whenever a Canadian city, whenever a place in Canada popped up, they just did it again, so it wouldn't end up in Canada at all. Yeah, and when word got out, the people of Canada were understandably quite pissed about it, because like, what the fuck, you marketed that this could have been happening in Canada, and
It's just false advertising.
Yeah, the way McDonald's went around it, like they basically took a half-assed approach about the fucking so like they did give Canada their prizes, but they basically just went into a shop and went, you won $1 million, here you go, here's a check, and then left.
Huh.
Yeah, like okay, not the best.
So they got caught in the act and then just made up for it in the shittiest way possible.
Well, okay. To be fair, so McDonald's outsourced the Monopoly stuff to organizers that would have taken care of it for them. Like McDonald's paid the license for for Monopoly, ran the competition, and outsourced the printing and the delivery to another company. It was that company that didn't want it to go to Canada or any Canadian cities. So McDonald's had to do damage control and just went, you got $1 million, because you know, like they didn't have control. They assumed that company was making sure it was being fairly distributed.
Huh. Oh yeah, unrelated to McDonald's or Monopoly or scams or competitions. I was in the Tumblrs and I found an image, and it makes my heart smile.
Well, I'll have to check it out after this hunt.
Yeah, I want to play more Needy Streamer Overload. Installing it on my current computer, all my progress was erased, so I have to start from square one all over again. But yeah, Needy Streamer Overload is such a good game. I love it so much. Yeah, so I look forward to streaming that in the future. A couple other things I want to stream. I have to ask around to see like who's up for joining me like in a Discord call as I stream. So I thought of putting my art skills to good use by drawing some of my good friends as anime girls.
So drawing out waifus, basically.
Yeah, just drawing my friends as anime girls. And my friends can use them as VTuber models, and I can have VTuber children, and I can get started on my goal of having 100 VTuber children.
So what you're saying is you would make your VTuber organization.
No, like being a VTuber, like okay, so in the VTubing sphere, being a character artist and being the one who makes designs for other people to use, you get called like their mama or their papa because you made their designs. You were like a kind of, in a way, their parent. So I want to be a VTuber mother, and basically when I say I want to have 100 VTuber children, that means I want to make 100 designs for people to use as VTuber models, and be responsible for 100 designs for 100 different people. So yeah, I want to be the mother of 100 VTuber children. So I just want to make their designs and have them be successful and stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean making my own organization. Like, it'd be interesting to have my own VTuber like management group. I don't have the money to make it an actual factual organization or an LLC or anything. But like, just having like a social group where, you know, I could help a couple of VTubers get started in their career and just, you know, provide their designs. That'd be kind of cool. And it's like, hey, like, let's all just be friends and support each other and that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. You're never gonna be able to convince me to call you my VTubing mama, though.
No, that's just, it's not taken like seriously as like a term though. It's like it's just kind of I guess kind of a joke in a way. It's just a nickname for like the person who's responsible for your character design. But it's not like you have to treat them like they're your actual parent. Like, it's not that serious.
I mean, I was messing around.
Like you. Yeah, you could just like, this is the person who made my character design, and that's it. It's not necessarily.
I have been thinking about the VTuber route. I just don't know what my avatar would look like.
I still can't draw men right now, and also I find drawing Mario very difficult, so I could draw you something that isn't Mario.
I wouldn't
could draw you as an anime girl, but I can't draw Mario.
I definitely wouldn't go. I definitely wouldn't go for the Mario approach. I'm just saying I just have no idea what my VTuber avatar would look like if I did get one done.
I'm coming.
Huh.
Like I just can't think of anything for a peculiar style or anything like that.
Are you alright?
Yeah, like, it took me a while, because, like, it was Wonder Bread guy that convinced me to become a VTuber, because he was like, you can do voices, and you could do, like, everything from, like, a little, like, cute lolly voice to, like, an Ada Mami voice. So, like, you should become a VTuber. And so he helped me try to become a VTuber and encouraged me to keep doing it. Originally, he wanted me to be a mouse.
Oh my god!
He's like, you're... Wow.
I was just going after the fucking scorpion, and then there's just a fucking frozen primordial sliding in behind me.
Oh yeah, he just spin dashed into you.
But he was frozen, so I took no damage, but I just saw it and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Sorry to interrupt, carry on.
No, it's okay. So originally Wonder Bread guy was like, you're kind of mousy and you're kind of shy and kind of nervous. You should be a mouse. So he suggested I become a mouse, because Moushly was a meme at the time. So he was like, you should be a mouse. And I'm like, I can't draw mouse ears. And I'm like, what about a hedgehog? And I guess he thought that I would do it like in the Sonic art style, kind of like what Z has going on, where he's, like, Z is obviously a Mobian. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that, because that would imply that I'm, like, a full-time, like, furry community person. And that's even more niche than VTubers are in general. But also, I don't see myself having, like, a full-time furry avatar. That could be, like, a form that I do for myself later on, kind of as a joke, or, like, for special occasions. But it wouldn't be, like, a full-time thing for me. But I just meant, like, you know, like, Nickel Mimi, like, you know, like a cat, like a cat ear person, but, like, it's a hedgehog. And, like, part of that hedgehog influence stayed in my finalized design because my hair is kind of very pointy in some places, so I'm just a hedgehog on a social level. But not, like, in a physical sense, not, like, literally a hedgehog, but I'm a metaphorical hedgehog, if anything. And then he was like, you should be a cat, and I'm like, you know how common anime cat girls are? Like, how am I gonna differentiate myself between all the other VTuber cat girls out there? And then Cereza and the Lost Demon had come out around that time, so I was like, what if I try to make my hair kind of look like Cereza and the Lost Demon? But then I'm like, no, I just kind of look like I copied the hairstyle, like, verbatim. Where, like, just replace, like, the hair buns with actual cat ears and then just have the braid acting as a tail that I don't have, because I don't like drawing tails on, like, humanoid character designs. So it's like, okay, that just looks like Cereza and the Lost Forest, but in my art, Cereza and the Lost Demon, but in my art style. So I scrapped that concept. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to be a human. And then Wonder Bread guy suggested, you should be a princess. And then I'm like, maybe? So then from there I was like, okay, maybe I could be a magical girl, maybe I could be like a computer program, maybe I could be this, that, the other, and then eventually I circled back to princess. And Wonder Bread guy was proud of me. He's like, yes, you're a princess. What else do you have going on? And I'm like, my VTuber model's a princess, and the lore is that this, that, the other happened, and they are a princess, but not actually a princess. It's just kind of a metaphor, because I can never just write a simple story. I have to make everything multi-layered and complicated. He's like, but you're still a princess, and I'm like, I guess so. Technically, in my presentation, I will be a princess, I suppose. And all that. And originally, my design was supposed to have a halo, kind of be like a princess tiara, but without actually being a tiara. So my model just has like a regular headband. But it was supposed to have a halo in the back of it. So I drew a halo on a separate piece of paper, and that halo was going to be kind of like a logo for myself. I scanned it into the computer. It did not look all that well with my design. So I was like, okay, scrap the halo. Instead, I'm gonna give myself a big-ass cowlick, or a hoge, as, you know, it's called in Japanese. And yeah, so now the hoge replaces the halo that I was originally going to have. and also kind of doubles as like a metaphorical crown of sorts. But yeah, so that's kind of how I came up with my design, just very gradually. And yeah, so I'm still working on it though. Like the model that I used last night is basically a version 0.22, as it were. It's not the model that I originally wanted, but I wanted something versus nothing. So I mean, I just worked with what I had, and I mean, hey, it worked out. But yeah, so I'm gonna continue working on my model. Making multiple outfits for my model. I have ideas for certain Let's Plays that I want to do, and I have costumes specific to those that I want to do. And yeah, so that'll be fun. Like, I thought, like, if I do Frontiers, I can make myself, like, a cyberspace form where I'm basically a ghost. For Lost World, I have a specific design that I want to do. I could do a specific costume for the adventure games as well. And yeah, so I don't know, I love art, I love drawing, I love fashion, so the idea to be a VTuber is just like, oh, I could just combine all the things that I like in just like one gimmick. So instead of just having to pick one niche, I can just do a little bit of everything. Because like, I don't know, it also just kind of hit me that I can't just be one thing. I am just naturally a jack of all trades, so I have to do a little bit of everything to be happy.
So yeah.
But like, if you want to do like a VTuber design, like I could attempt to come up with something for you. But like, you're gonna have to decide like, what would you want? At least think of what your species would be, and what motif, like what aesthetic or what theme you want to have.
I mean, I don't need to default to like furry or kimono Mimi.
Well, yeah, like those are like the most common ones, but like you don't need. You could just be any species you want, but like think of like what your species would be, whether it's a human, a furry, whatever. Like at least think of that, and then think of like what aesthetics or themes you want going for you, because that'll make it easier. Like there's actually a formula that I used. There's this VTuber named Yam Albat, formerly known as Yam Kawori, but currently it's Yam Albat, where they came up with a formula for how to figure out what kind of VTuber you want to be. I'm gonna have to go to their channel and find the video, because I don't have it bookmarked, and she actually did a worksheet where you could print it out or just download it on your computer. And it's literally a worksheet with the formula on it, and other tips on how to make a effective VTuber concept. So I just gotta find the video. So let me try to find the video. I'll look in the description, and then I'll just find like I found it. I found the worksheet. Okay. So I will link you the video, but I will also just link you the Google Drive link to the worksheet. So who knows? Maybe that'll help.
Maybe. I think it's also like the case I say, because I do like skits, I do show my face as well. You know, some would argue that would break the immersion.
I mean, there are people that have experimented with that. Like, there are some VTubers where their face is like very well known. Like Kson is a big example. Kson used to be like a full face streamer. They got into VTubing because they didn't want to have to bother putting on makeup anymore.
Based, I
so
guess.
she got into HoloLive, and while in the HoloLive Corporation, she was Kiryu Koko, which was a dragon VTuber, and the dragon character. She got terminated from HoloLive, and then she became an indie VTuber, and that's where Kson came from. So she's no longer Kiryu Koko, she is now Kson. And then Kson was an indie for a while, but then teamed up with another VTuber agency called VShoujo, which Kson is still a part of to this day. And Kson is also the person that won the contest to appear in Yakuza Infinite Wealth. And she is now the character K, and K is basically just Kson. So that's why I keep teasing Henry about it, and I kept asking, like, oh, have you met K yet? How have your interactions with K in the game been? And I'm surprised he didn't know about that contest, because he's the Yakuza guy. He's the, like, a dragon guy in our friends group.
Well, I'm surprised he doesn't know about it, given that he's also, I nicknamed him Inside Job for a reason.
Yeah, so
no, chat, I will not give
for
context.
those reasons. Yeah, so I was also surprised you didn't know about it. So I actually knew about that, but that's because I know, like, I've been studying VTuber stuff for like a year. And yeah, that's how I know about Kei-san's involvement with Yakuza. Because she was a big Yakuza fan, so she entered that contest. She ended up winning after facing a lot of controversy because she kept getting censored in like the Chinese streams of that contest. She kept getting a lot of harassment. But yeah, like she was there like full face, so people know what she looks like. She posts real photos of her face and her cats all the time. So like her face is out there. But like, you know, people still respect her as a VTuber. That doesn't break the immersion for everybody. And there's even another VTuber called Onigiri, where her whole gimmick is that she's a chef, she's cooking. So she has a green screen, and she has her VTuber model on the green screen, but then she also has her actual hands in the frame because she's cooking. So she has a very complicated setup to make that work. But I mean, hey, she makes it work. And like, all the better for her. And like, it doesn't break immersion or anything. And also because of the cooking that she does, because of her gimmick, you kind of have to have a little bit of hybridization between like the Live 2D model that she's using and also just her physical body. And then I think she's also done stuff with full face as well, but I don't remember if she was like wearing a mask or anything to at least cover her nose and mouth. But yeah, like there are people experimenting with like being, you know, flesh tubers as it were, and then VTubers. So some people are strictly VTubers, some people are strictly flesh tubers, and there's a hybrid of both, which is very experimental territory at the moment. But yeah, so it's like, it's not impossible. You just have to find an audience that appreciates the hybridization of the two. I'm chilly. Well, yeah. I can't believe I am following in Yam's footsteps and I am becoming a VTuber educator of some kind.
Ooh, ow.
What happened? What happened? You went, ow.
Yeah, you know, sitting on my ass in one angle and I adjust myself and the feeling comes back.
Oh yeah, I hate when that happens. 'Tis a mood.
I love how conveniently, bless you.
Thank you.
I love how convenient, like Dana mentions that like Eternians were very tall back then, and conveniently that she was the shortest one, which just so happens to be the average size for a human.
Yeah, I remember we had this discussion, like, she's supposed to be short, but she's like average height. She should have been shorter.
Ruins always fascinate me.
Oh yeah?
Well, yeah, because it's like, you know, what once was.
Yeah.
And you just think about the history behind it.
I'm like that with like old architecture, where like there are no ruins in my area per se, but there's like architecture from like the 20s and 30s that still exist. And yeah, it's very interesting to see.
There's very old mines near my area that you can somewhat still access because they're above ground. And they're like areas where tracks would be for mine carts and stuff, and it's just quiet.
Huh. Like, I remember I was walking in town one day, and then there's like this old man, there's this building being constructed, and it has, you could see like in the windows, it had like big ass windows, so you could see the inside somewhat. And in this place they have something that's not really done anymore, but they gave the ceiling like the ceiling was made of tin, and it was like patterned tin as well. Where the house where I grew up also had kind of like a tin ceiling as well, and it had a really nice pattern on it, but that's not common in a lot of modern builds. One, because it's expensive. Two, I think that style just fell out of fashion with a lot of people. Three, it's not very time effective if you're living in a city that constantly needs new apartments to be built, and yeah, so it's time consuming to put that up there. but we were looking at this construction being built, and he just kind of like starts talking out loud, and I just happened to be there, so I start talking to him back, and we're talking about old-timey architecture. And you're like, things aren't built the way they used to be anymore. What happened to like old-fashioned aesthetics? And I have no idea how old this old man is, but he's definitely an old man. And we're just talking about architecture just back and forth in the middle of the street. And it was just such a wholesome and fun conversation. But I felt like as soon as I walked away from that conversation, because I had to go home, I felt like I would never see that man again. And unfortunately, I never did. Part of me was the question, what if I were just talking to a ghost and just someone who didn't actually exist? What if that man isn't real? But oh my god, he was so fun to talk to. It was just like a random stranger on the street. Like, sometimes like old people that just start talking to you on the street are like the most fun people to like talk with. Like, I remember when I was much younger, I was at a video game store, just kind of peering into the window. And you know how some game stores have like TVs where they're playing like trailers on the TV?
Yeah.
There was this little old lady, and she was like, "Oh, games are so violent these days. I can't believe it, like, games didn't used to be so violent." And I'm like, yeah, because my cousins were babies at the time, so I also was like, oh my god, games are so violent, like, what am I gonna have these kids play that isn't, like, Call of Duty? And all that, so we're talking back and forth about how violent video games can be, and I'm offering, like, a lot of, like, more wholesome gaming alternatives. And she's like, oh, well, not all games are bad then. You just have to look, you know, you just have to look and do your research a lot better. And she was like, oh, my name is Sophia. You know, I live in this area. And I'm like, oh my god, so nice to meet you. And she was like the sweetest old lady. It was so nice. But yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting. Like, when you talk to old people and you get their input and their knowledge and all, it's something that we always deeply appreciate. The quite always talks when it's like, you see like the grandparents pass away, you see like the older parents pass away. It's like, that's old knowledge that's like, it's like lost in time. You just gotta get as much of that as possible before it's too late, really.
I remember there was one time I had.
We're gonna do, but we're gonna place.
Sorry, you're breaking up a bit there. Go again.
No, that's okay.
Alright.
I think my voice is just a little bit scratchy.
No, you were breaking up because of Discord.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
But anyway,
That is okay. It wasn't really a big point.
I remember there was one time I nearly had like an argument with a woman at a game because she didn't believe me when I told her I didn't work there. Like I was just perusing, like see what games I wanted to get, and I was wearing my Sonic T-shirt that I had at the time. And
so because you're wearing a video game character, she thinks you automatically work there.
Well, so like she came up to me and she asked me about what games would be great for her son on the Xbox, and I said like, well, I don't work here, but I can give you some recommendations as someone who plays games. And she went, what are you talking about? Of course you work here. I'm like, no, I don't. I want to, but I don't. She said, no, you definitely do. Why else are you wearing a video game character shirt? And I was like, because I want to wear it. I like Sonic the Hedgehog. She said, no. You definitely work here. You're just being lazy and rude. What's your name? I'm gonna talk to the manager about you. He said, my name's Tommy, but they will agree that I don't work here. She went, oh yeah, they will. So she went to the till and complained about me, and he went, yeah, he doesn't work here, miss. And she said, well, he's wearing a video game shirt. And he said, that's not exclusive to our staff. People wear them because they like video games. Like.
And, like, I feel like a lot of workplaces where if they don't have, like, an established uniform that you have to get for yourself as the employee and wear as the employee, they at least have, like, a name tag that they can give you if they don't have a proper uniform, but, like, you can wear normal clothes, but you need a name tag to distinguish yourself from non-staff. So it's like, if you don't have a name tag at the very least, yeah, you probably don't work there. That's nuts. I've never had someone confuse me for like an employee before. At least not at a game store, but I remember when my then local GameStop was still open, I would go in there every now and again. I would just peruse. That's when they were starting to bring the Funko Pops in, and it became more of a Funko Pop store than a video game store. But I remember there was this little old lady looking for games, and she's looking for game recommendations for her child. And I don't work there, but you know, as someone who had small children at the house at the time, I was also like, oh well, I know these games where you know they would be friendly for children and also fun for the adults. So I was giving her recommendations, and then someone made a comment to me, like, you don't work here, you should probably not make recommendations. Like, bitch, I'm making small talk, I'm being social, relax. I'm not impeding on GameStop's business, I'm just trying to have friendly conversation with another patron as a patron.
It's okay.
But it's like, even then, it's like,
I'm all right now.
you know, I was more than happy to, you know, to help out. I was just explaining that, you know, I was only recommending
Suddenly started
as a gamer and not someone who worked at the shop.
Exactly, because it's like, at least especially for me, because I'm used to dealing with older people who don't really know a lot about video games, I'm used to having to give them very effective small lectures on like, okay, this game is appropriate for children, this game not so much, you will have to give them some parental guidance because it has themes you might not agree with 100% of the time. You know, that kind of thing. Like, you just kind of gently like talk to them and tell them why certain games might be a good fit for them, or might not be a good fit for them, like that kind of thing.
Whereas I forgot to give Dana a hug doll. Yeah, no, it's you know, it was just her tone, thinking that I was just a lazy bloke that just didn't want to do my job. Well, because I was.
Oh, because you wore a video game character on your shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, by that logic, I'm surprised people don't mistake me as working for Sega or something.
But I mean, it was just the funniest part where, you know, like, just after that she just left the shop, didn't even buy anything, didn't even acknowledge me, and she just left.
Damn. It's like, it's not your fault, you don't work there. She made the assumption that you worked there because you wore a video game character on your clothing. That's like, that would be like someone saying like, oh, you have a Sonic pin on your purse, that must mean you work here. And it's like, no, that just means I like Sonic. That just means I thought the pin was cute and I wanted to stick it on my purse, and that's it. Yeah. I don't know. People are just weird sometimes when it comes to like, oh, you do this, then you must work here, or you must belong to this faction, or you must believe in these beliefs because you do this thing, or you are at this place, or you wear, or it's any little like things like that. It's weird.
I'm just minded of
Like,
that
why assume
fucking.
stuff?
I was part of that fucking Tom Cardi song, I Don't Work Here. I gotta remind me to show you that after the stream, because I fucking love that song. Like, it's funny as hell, and it's so fucking relatable. Yeah, level up, bitches.
The American term for pants, that is.
You want, sorry?
No, because I was like, I might need to put another pair of pants, and then I was like, oh wait, in the UK, pants is like what we call underwear, so it's like the American version of the word pants. It's cold, I'm gonna have to like layer up. But then it's like when you layer up for winter, there's like only so many layers you can wear before it's like, okay, I'm not comfortable at all. I can't function in this. Just really chilly out of nowhere. It's supposed to be a little bit nicer later in the week, but we just kind of got that gross transitional period right now.
Yep, but spring is right round the corner. So it'll be a matter of time before it actually starts warming up, hopefully.
And then, yeah, there are a couple places I want to go in the spring and the summer. And then the warmer parts of fall if I can help it. Yeah, I hope I can go on a lot of adventures.
Ow. Come on, you bastards. You ain't got shit. Okay, may have some shit on me. Very quiet stream today. No one in chat, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Oh well, even if people are lurking, it's still good. Because getting some enjoyment out of it regardless. And that's what matters.
And I mean, hey, like, not all streams have to be talkative for you to enjoy them, you know?
Exactly.
But that's kind of my mentality with it. It's like, you know, it's sometimes nice just to do things for yourself. And if other people happen to enjoy them too, cool.
Yes.
But like sometimes you can't go into a hobby like streaming or let's playing like I'm gonna have an audience, I'm gonna get attention, I'm gonna do this, that, the other. It's like, because if you go into them with those expectations, it's like, okay, well, congratulations, you're setting yourself up for failure when you have like one view and the only person commenting constantly is your mom, who you told that you were gonna start streaming, and she doesn't quite understand what streaming is, so she's just leaving comments for moral support. But it's like, you were expecting you were gonna have like 1 million subs in the month. It's like, no, that's not the case. You don't grow that fast.
Oh no, my mom just doesn't watch my channel at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the boat where it's like, I don't really want my immediate family to know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Well, see,
like, unless it becomes like super profitable where they kind of have to know at that point.
It's not that I don't...
But like, for right now, it's like, it's just a hobby.
It's not that I don't want her to know. Like, I've been doing YouTube since 2011. She knows that I do YouTube videos. She just doesn't watch any of my videos at all.
I mean, again, I would rather not have my family know what I do, because, like, my cousins would probably want to know. My cousins would probably want to, like, guest on my streams, but, like, no, honey. 1, you're both still minors. 2, I don't want your mom catching on. 3, I've known you since you were babies. There are certain parts of my personality and my life that I don't want you to know about because you are my children, essentially. So it's like, yeah. I don't know. I'm a very multifaceted, multi-layered person, but then it's like, my family doesn't need to know all of those layers. My family can just know the somewhat sanitized and wholesome version of me. And meanwhile, my friends get the wholesome version, the crazy version, the chaotic version, the cat lady version, etc., you know? Like, I don't know. But then again, like, I also come from a place where my family was not supportive of a lot of the things that I have done over the course of my life, so my default is kind of just keeping a secret from them. Avoid drama. Enjoy this peace while you still have it before the family gets involved in a bad way. Yeah, that's my mentality with it. Like, I don't know. Like, distant family is different, because distant family might not bother as much, if at all. But, like, immediate family, like, unless it becomes, like, super profitable, and, like, say if I were to make enough money from streaming to, like, get them a house or something so they never have to worry about, like, living in crappy apartments again, and that's one thing. But I'm not there yet, so, yeah.
Keyword there yet. You know, I mean, despite you having, like, only, what, 100 subscribers, your first stream got way more views than any of my streams will ever get, so...
Don't be mean to yourself.
Sir, I'm not being mean. I'm literally stating the facts. You got like even after the stream's been uploaded. Last I checked, you had 85 views. None of my streams have ever gotten any views like that.
Maybe you need to be a VTuber. Maybe you need to be a cute anime lady. But I don't know. I didn't expect to have that kind of luck. Because originally I was because you had suggested like, oh, just like stream for like an hour just as like a test, and then you know that was fun. Goodbye. I got very distracted because it was fun and I was talking to my friends and
well,
I ended up completing my overlay.
I said at least an hour just to see how it goes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just had beginner's luck probably. I'm not expecting the same thing again. I don't know.
I know. What am I doing? There's actually a save point right around the corner. I need to idle heal. I'm just wasting time.
I don't know. I have my first thought was like, I don't know. I just have beginner's luck. I'm just a psycho baby. I'm in and out my mind. Just going into Willwood, second sightseer. Oh, that's such a good song, though.
I like how Hummel calls that a boulder. That ain't no boulder. Like...
Is it not a boulder, but it's a rock?
No, like, what kind of rock looks like that?
Rocks. I am just a meme machine now. I am just a collection of bips and boops and snippets of things that already exist.
And now we're going back to the past.
Scusi.
You know, just one of these moments, I would just love it to go to Dana, and Dana's like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, what the hell's going on?
I mean, hey, she's from the past. She's having trouble adjusting, maybe. She's kind of going through a lot. Of course she's gonna be confused.
You know, at least this guy's dressed simple. I imagine that robe is quite easy to put on.
It looks very warm.
Yeah, he'll be fine in winter. Dana will not.
Or maybe she just generates a lot of heat. Because there are just some people that, like, generate a lot of heat. Like, they're just extremely warm to be around.
I mean, you can't, yeah, but you can't convince me that Dana generates heat.
I don't know, she could. Like, this game doesn't take place in winter, we don't know.
Lady Donna.
And now we have reached the quiet point.
Well, I am going to be wrapping it up after this cutscene ends.
And I am sewing a scrunchie.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the weird thing about sewing, though, because it's like, I know what to make for women. I know what, like, women like that I could make by way of sewing. For men, though, I'm fucking clueless. It's like, I could make a pillow, but what kind of pillow do I make a man? If it's a lady, I could make any kind of pillow with all these cute little prints and other features and accessories. What do I make a man?
I mean, we don't really, most men don't really need anything complicated.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, it's good.
I made you a pillow. It's blue. Sick.
It's like, what kind of pattern does it have? It's just plain nice.
Sick. Right, I'm going to call this stream here. Do you have any finishing words you want to end off with yourself?
I mean, not that I could think of.
All right, well.
Yeah, nothing I can really think of.
This has been Ys 8 Lacrimosa Dana for the Nintendo Switch. If you guys like want to see more, be sure to let me know down below. Next time we come back to this, we will actually go to the Baja Tower and not say we will, but not actually
get
do
Baja
it.
Blast straight from the fountain.
Yes. If you want to help support the channel, links down below, so I'm going to measure that. Check out Honest Bonds, links down below, and yeah. That's all I've got to say, really. And subscribe. See you later. Thank you guys so much for watching. She's author Double SD, and I'm Sergeant Major Mario saying, ciao.
Bye.